Yep, the camera is good. You don't have time for jokes, Ryan. You know about cookie. I was like, I'm not gonna think about. Okay, let's just do the intro.
Hello, welcome to today's podcast. We're on episode 312. Surprisingly, I know I didn't think we'd make it, but surprisingly we did. I said surprisingly twice there. I'm just gonna keep going with it.
We're still here.
We're still here. For those of you who don't know, or if you're living under a rock like Patrick Star, Cookie Monster ate a radioactive cookie, and he has grown to 65 foot tall. I thought it was 70 originally, but now 65 foot. And he's been going around city after city, destroying them, just looking for cookies. He doesn't know what he's doing. Like, the government can't shoot him down, like rockets and stuff, because he's Cookie Monster, you know. But we're safe here.
Like, you would have assumed that because he's so fluffy that he's, a bullet take him down, but he's invulnerable. I don't know what it is. Just cookie-based diet that makes him indestructible, but they can't seem to get him at all.
Speaking from sustaining on cookies for well over 6 years, yeah, it's a pretty strong diet, I'll tell you that much. But we're safe here.
It's the middle of the mountains. Like, why would he be here? It's rural Ireland.
Completely safe. Absolutely safe. Safe as safe can be. Safety, safe.
I'm not
You
sure.
hear that?
Yeah.
I hope that was just your dog.
My dog's big, but he's not like 65 foot, because that sounded like a very specific 65 foot footprint.
That sounded like 65 foot smacking down on the ground. I wouldn't know now. You heard that, didn't you? No.
Cookie! Nom nom.
Hello and welcome to today's podcast. I'm your host Ryan, and that's my co-host Brendan eating some sort of food. So today's episode, we as I mentioned last week at the end of last week's episode, if you were listening, if not, you should. It's a good episode, sort of, kind of. Yeah, it's all right.
Fantastic.
Yes, fantastic, wonderful, brilliant, amazing, etc., and so on. Today's episode, though, we are discussing conspiracy theories. Insert Twilight, insert X-Files music here. Please insert X-Files music here. Yeah, write that down. That's good, perfect. Okay. We are discussing conspiracy theories and the like. It was Brendan's idea. Well, I say it was Brendan's idea. I also had this idea written down, so technically it's both our ideas.
Mutual idea.
Yes, but since I don't want to start, Brendan, you start.
Well, I think...
What is a conspiracy theory?
A conspiracy theory is essentially a thesis or an idea that is related to real life, but is not widely accepted as fact or truthful.
So it's conjecture.
Yeah. But a lot of the time people believe that conspiracy theories may be the real truth, and that the government is, inducing some sort of disbelief in conspiracy theories in order to ascertain dominance, and then, they're...
Ascertain? Nice use of the word.
Thank you.
Nice use of the word. I love when people use words like that. Ascertain. I spelled that wrong. Keep going.
And our brains actually need conspiracy theories. I watched a YouTube video by...
So it's...
They're scientists. They're scientists.
I watch YouTube videos, so we know it's sound information.
Essentially saying that we require conspiracies in order to allow doubt to take place, and if we didn't have doubt, we wouldn't be allowed to be aware of social dangers.
If we didn't doubt, Caesar would still be in charge. He wouldn't have got stabbed 30 times by Bruce and the guys.
Exactly.
That was a good Saturday afternoon for them, huh? Going down the Senate, stabbing Caesar. And then Rome falls into chaos, huh?
Did you know he was so chopped up, and he had a tree that fell on him, that somebody got the idea for a Caesar salad, and that's where it came from?
I don't believe that.
I guess I made it up.
Yes, it didn't sound right. Damn. Beyonce.
Good singer. Fond of her.
Yeah, she's alright. People believe that well, I say people, it's a specific group called Now the End Begins, that believe her shows are full of occult references.
She does do this, is it?
Including inverted pentagrams and goat heads and stuff, and like she's trying to recruit people for the devil, basically. And it's like something to do with like, I don't know, something else with like.
It's the Illuminati as well. She's apparently a member of the Illuminati.
Apparently that too. And like some crazy religious guy was like, oh, from Isaiah, like 57:3, it's like, oh, children of transgression will love sticking their tongues out, for like rock music and stuff and just her music and stuff, all that. It's like those religious types just say the craziest stuff. No offense to anyone who is religious. I know many people who are, and I respect all beliefs. I myself am Buddhist, so
oh, very interesting. I didn't know that about you.
You didn't?
No.
No. Don't tell my grandmother; she'd kill me.
I am atheist.
I used to be agnostic, but I thought, nah, I'll pick something.
Well, I think it is. It's Friedrich Nietzsche or is it Schopenhauer, who says that you should believe in a god. If you're going to believe in something, believe in a god or believe in a religion, because you're better off to believe in one than not believe in one. It's some existential philosopher. I don't want to.
French woman.
It's not the Beauvoir, is it?
No. Do you know? Some people believe Obama can control the weather. It's a really crazy one. It's allegedly because every time there was like a scandal or something in the White House, he deliberately manipulate the weather to deter attention away from the White House, which I think is interesting. Obviously, completely not true. He's not Storm from the X-Men. Although that'd be a very good movie if we got it's just the X-Men as it is, except instead of Halle Berry playing Storm, it's Barack Obama. That would be the best movie ever. Oh, I'd watch the hell out of that. That would make X-Men: The Last Stand way better. Because you know the thing where Storm does the wind spin and kicks someone.
Yeah.
That Barack Obama and the hair.
Barack Obama versus Dark Phoenix.
Barack Obama with that hair. I'm telling you, that'd be one heck of a movie. Oh, I'd watch the hell out of that. And his eyes go white and he controls
He's probably the type to do that though. Like I feel like if you could probably.
He's a big comic fan. He's actually on the cover of a Spider-Man issue. Yeah. He's a big Spider-Man fan.
Now, there's a lot of conspiracy theories revolving the American government and America in general. Another conspiracy theory about a president is that Bush did 9/11.
I did mention the president. Yeah. I didn't mention that.
To do with not just George W, but George Senior.
George W.
Both Bushes were involved.
George W. once said, the French don't have a word for entrepreneur. Oh, what a guy. Where did this originate? Tell me.
I'm not. I think it originated on a website. I think it originated around 4chan. Something like that, or some sort of weird e-forum back in the early 2000s, and I think it.
E4?
No, e-forum.
Oh, that makes more sense.
Online forum. Yeah, it originated on Channel 4. But basically that both of the Bushes were behind 9/11.
When
and
you say that, I imagine two just normal leaf bushes just chilling, just being real mysterious, continue. Sorry.
And that George W. was just
George W.
was a little puppet for Bin Laden. That Bin Laden was actually in control the whole time, and he was a puppet, or the other way around. That George W. There's two theories that Bush was a puppet for Bin Laden, or the Bush is super smart, and Bin Laden was a puppet for him to use to take the attention off him. And that basically 9/11 was orchestrated by the U.S. government in order to blame Al Qaeda and be an excuse for them to invade in order to get oil.
That was the second Gulf War, wasn't it? No, that's a different thing.
No, they were in Afghanistan.
But I'm glad you asked. People believe the second Gulf War was started because Saddam Hussein, they allegedly think he had a Stargate. Stargate, from the TV series Stargate and all that.
I don't know what a Stargate is actually.
It's like a portal to different worlds. But they believe the second Gulf War was waged in order to close a Stargate that Saddam Hussein had, so they'd stop an alien invasion. And it's a pretty believable theory because there's a certain picture that when you look at it, it seemed like Hussein could be saying Stargate. Yeah, mate, I got one on the back. Want to see?
Seriously?
No, obviously not. It's a joke. He doesn't have a Stargate. There's no Stargate. That's not why the Second Gulf War was started. The Second Gulf War was started for a number of other geopolitical reasons that I'm not going to get into now. I could, but I don't want to. But it's one of those crazy theories out there. Did you have a favorite conspiracy theory?
I love Ancient Aliens. It's not one specific theory, but it's a kind of a branch of theories that
where aliens came to this planet and like mated with our humans.
Not that they made it, but they're the reason for like.
They did. They did.
they're the reason for major advancements in human civilization. Pyramids.
I thought the dinosaurs built the pyramids.
Do you remember the people used to believe, like, this is not too long ago, that Neanderthals could have existed. Like, when I was very young, there was a theory that Neanderthals existed alongside dinosaurs.
It didn't.
Of course they did.
Good, just making sure.
So yeah, I love the Ancient Aliens theory. That aliens came down, they
made sweet alien love to our human women.
they probed us, they helped us, they advanced us, and that's why we have ideas of aliens.
They certainly advanced us. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have the conversation. Indian
people aliens? Confirmed.
Whoa, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. No, you're taking that out of context. Well, in terms of the thing I was saying with the dinosaurs building the pyramids, there was this pastor called Vince Finech, who served as the director of the Accelerated Christian Academy in Malta. He believed that it's mentioned in the book of Job that dinosaurs helped build the pyramids. And because apparently on this website it came out that, now keep in mind this Christian Academy was closed down in July 2012 for reasons I think you can obviously guess because the fellow was a nutjob, but he apparently they got this information from a Ukrainian from a website that reported there's a pyramid in the Ukraine that dates back to the Jurassic period, and I was like, oh, dinosaurs have to have built the pyramids then. Which doesn't make any sense because one, you can't imagine a T-Rex holding a shovel. The T-Rex weren't even alive during the Jurassic period, so even crazier.
Fuck.
Like there was no big dinosaurs during the Jurassic period that could be suitable enough to build a pyramid. Don't say Stegosaurus. Stegosaurus.
I was going to say Allosaurus. Allosaurus.
They're not. They're all right, you know. But that fella I think doesn't have a job now. I don't know what he's doing these days.
He's a nice name though. I like his name.
Vince Finech. Yeah, it's all right name. He's Maltese.
What do you call a stripper from Malta?
I'm not answering that.
Malteser.
That is. Let the record show I didn't appreciate that joke. That is one of the worst jokes I've ever heard in my entire life, and I've heard some doozies. I've even given some doozies.
You've given a lot of doozies. You've given some doozies on the podcast.
Yeah, but they're funny.
Oh.
Well, they're better than that.
I don't know.
It's just so juvenile. There was a theory going around a while ago that Michael Jackson was killed by the Iranian government.
I wasn't aware.
Here's why. It's on the day he died, whatever that date was. I'm not going to look it up because I don't care. Whenever he died.
It was in November, I think, wasn't it?
Possibly. All I remember is that I was in 5th class, 6th class, something like that, when he died. Anyway, he's dead. That's the important thing. And the day he died, like Twitter pretty much broke for a period from the influx of RIP tweets or whatever. And some people believed, because that knocked the hashtag Iran election off the trending, and some people believed it prevented Iranian protesters from using Twitter to organize protests against President Ahmadinejad's manipulation of the recent election, which he did manipulate in order to come back to power, and sort of kill the momentum of that protest because of Michael Jackson's death. So some people believe, the Iranian government killed him, which obviously doesn't hold much ground. And then some people believe Michael Jackson is still alive, like many other famous people, like Elvis or Hitler.
Yeah, but I mean, speaking of Michael Jackson, one person who was not very fond of Michael Jackson is Eminem, Marshall Mathers, Slim Shady. And there's a conspiracy theory. Eminem, Marshall Mathers, Slim Shady.
I know one of those from a meme. I've eaten one of those, and I don't know the middle one.
Eminem is the rapper. His real name is Marshall Mathers, but another alias of Eminem is Slim Shady.
Slim Shady is Eminem?
Yeah.
I thought Slim Shady was a black dude.
No, it's Dr. Dre.
That's not racist.
Bit.
That was unintentionally racist.
Okay.
I watched a musical recently, and one of the songs is "Everybody's a Little Bit Racist," so it's just.
I mean, Tom Tiernan joke, racist or having the crack. I feel like you were having the crack, so it's okay.
Oh, Tommy Tiernan. You ever see the one where, about the mass?
Oh.
Difference between a Nigerian and Australian priests saying mass. I love that one so much. Oh, it's so funny.
But anyway, back to Eminem. There's a theory that Eminem was in a really bad car crash in around 2007, 2006. And he nearly died. He was in a coma for like 6 months. And people believe that they cloned him, and the Eminem who came after looks different, speaks different, raps different, and the context of what he raps about is different. And they believe he's a clone designed by the music industry, and that his clone is an industry plant. Also, Billie Eilish is an industry plant.
That's sort of like I believe you're familiar with Paul is dead theory. Paul McCartney is dead.
Oh yeah.
Many people are familiar with that theory, but many people don't know how it first originated. It first came into light in the fall of 1969. Rumors started to circulate that Paul McCartney died in a car crash 2 years earlier and was replaced by a lookalike. The rumors actually first that was when they first hit that was when they hit ground and started spreading like wildfire. But the rumors first began in 1967. With reports Paul McCartney was killed in a car crash on a snowy day, January 7th, 1967 to be exact. It was reported in the Beatles monthly book, issue 43, under the heading "False Rumors," because obviously it doesn't happen. And then, like the official statement from the Beatles company said that Paul never even left the house that day, so there's no way he could have died in the car crash. However, the theory got more traction in September 1969. There was a student newspaper in a university in Des Moines, Iowa, that ran a story, "Is Beatle Paul McCartney dead?" That's the exact title. And which goes into details about how they believe Paul McCartney did die, and like it's the author of the I can't remember the guy's name, Harvey or something like that. The author of the article points to like specific album covers, specifically Sgt. Pepper's, and like lyrics in certain songs to say that Paul did die. Like there's a left-handed guitar lying over the grave of the four on the cover of Sgt. Pepper's, and people believe it's like the left-handed people spawn the devil, and over he's dead, he's all that. And Paul was left-handed, so Paul's dead on the grave. And then the back cover, Paul's the only one that isn't facing because the back cover is the four of them standing side by side, and Paul is the only one that isn't facing everyone else. So it's his back to everyone. So again, it's another possible theory as to he's dead.
Interesting.
And then this goes on even further, because on the cover of Magical Mystery Tour, it's all four of them in different animal costumes, and the walrus is one of them. And people believe the walrus is John, but in 1968's Glass Onion, the song, which is written by John, one of the lyrics is "The walrus is Paul," and this guy goes on to say that the Viking symbol of death is the walrus. I don't know if that's true. I don't think it is.
Is that what I Am the Walrus is about?
No, I Am the Walrus is about nothing. No, quite literally, because John Lennon, he got a letter from a school saying they were trying to find the meaning in his songs. So he purposely wrote a song that didn't have a meaning.
Okay.
And that was how I Am the Walrus came about. Anyway, and also again, building on this theory, there's other lyrics referenced apparently Revolution 9. The same author says that Revolution 9 is played backwards. It's like allusions to his death. And then there's a lyric from another lyric that people believe it's from Ringo's "Don't Pass Me By," which is one of his only 2 songs he's ever written for the Beatles. It's like you were in a car crash and you lost your hair in a car crash. As they believe McCartney died.
Yeah.
And then also on the cover of Abbey Road, Paul is barefoot, which people believe to signify that he's a corpse. So it's like all of them are something different. So Paul is in a suit without shoes. He is a corpse. George Harrison is in denim overalls. He's the undertaker of the... No, he's not. He's the caretaker. He's the one who has to shovel the grave.
No, that's an undertaker.
Yeah, you know what I mean. John is in all white. He's the pastor, and then Ringo is just attending the funeral. And that's what Ringo's just there. He's doing his best. But I love Ringo though. He's my third favorite Beatle. Paul's my fourth.
George Harrison's my favorite.
What are you doing? He's stealing my thunder. Anyway, but then there's this other author who wrote out like this really long spiel about like Paul dying, and like again, obviously it was fake. It was completely fake. It was a joke, and he did all these like fake. Oh, this happened. All these fake what's the word? Examples that lead back to the rumor. And like it was that which says that allegedly the car crash happened even further back in November 1966, November 9th, where Paul left a recording session really unhappy and even died in a car crash. But the thing is, so many people thought it was serious, and then it got even more traction. And then the author of this, not the student newspaper one, a different one, the one that was like, he did it as a joke. They were on a talk show, and he said to the talk show host before the talk show, look, I did this as a joke, it wasn't serious. And he was like, well, you're going to have to talk because we're on for an hour.
Oh my god.
And he did. Although positive side, as a result of the rumors, album sales increased at the time for the Beatles, which is great. So like like Magical Mystery Tour and Sgt. Pepper's got back up the charts. But like people still deny it to this day. And one of my friends always bugs me about it, and it's like, oh, Paul McCartney is dead, right? I'm like, no, he's not. Stop that.
That's a really interesting theory. Like, there's so much on that as well. I always find that when there's a lot on a theory, like when there's a lot,
it could hold some traction.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that like there's evidence after evidence or supposed evidence, I guess. And there's a lot of stuff that it has in the background that can allude to it being true. I feel like it gives it more credibility. You know what I mean? And when it's not just some guy either or some girl that's like in their basement 24 hours a day looking through all newspaper covers, and they come out with like a neck beard and they go, I believe this theory is true. I feel like when it's someone that has like a good reputation and they come up with a theory that has a lot of like stuff to back it up, I feel like it's almost it's almost easy to believe. And it's almost easier to believe a conspiracy theory than accept the truth. Yeah.
I concur. Quite. Cool.
So what's your opinion on
the moon landing? What?
No, as we are both studying film, also studying drama and English, but film is something we're both very passionate about. There is a very very anti-Semitic theory based around Hollywood that, and it derives from New York as well, which is that the Jewish people, the caption is that the Jews own Hollywood. That essentially that Jewish people run the media.
Where are you going?
Specifically, the Jews of New York run the media. I just want to know, like, that's a theory out there that I think is ridiculous, but there is so much to back it up. It's another theory that I think is just outlandish, but there's so much behind it. You know what I mean? Like, if you look at a lot of the famous Irish actors, like Daniel Day-Lewis, Fassbender, Liam Neeson, they're all Jewish. And a lot of actors. Michael Fassbender is Jewish.
Michael Fassbender.
He's Irish.
I know he's Irish, but Jewish?
Yeah.
He's from Kerry.
He's Jewish.
People in Kerry don't know what Jews are.
He is. He's genuinely Jewish. So is Daniel Day-Lewis.
I guess with Daniel Day-Lewis, he's overrated.
So
he's great in There Will Be Blood, but beyond that, nah.
Well, there's basically a theory that if you want to make it in the movie industry, you have to be a Jew. And what do you think of that experience?
I don't think that holds any ground. I think it's ridiculous.
Really?
I think it's just complaining.
Yeah, it's like it. Basically, there's
it's quite anti-Semitic as well.
It's incredibly anti-Semitic, and there's a theory that like it's essentially it's a saying that like there's two religions you join. You join Scientology or you join Judaism, and you'll become an actor.
Tom Cruise.
What? That's okay. Is it still recording?
What happens when it dies? Now there's a question for the existentialists.
When the camera dies, we'll just put on a thingy. It doesn't matter what the stuff.
What was I saying? I was saying something good. Oh, I lost my point. Oh no. Oh.
Moon landing.
No, before that. It was something just before that. I'll go on to the moon landing. Why not?
Sure.
There was something else I was gonna talk about. Oh, that's unfortunate. I hate when that happens. Well, many people do believe that the moon landing was faked. Obviously. Well, not obviously. I mean, many people believe it was faked. Do you think it was faked? Actually, I'll go into the facts first.
Yeah, give state your case, and then I'll.
Because, like, you know, it was in the 60s, and people believed all the horse shit. All the horse shit the government was feeding them. So it's like, you know, Nixon wouldn't lie to us, would he? Our Richard Nixon, he'd never lie to us. He's being full and honest about everything. If you know Nixon, that's incredibly funny. I should really stop saying that after my jokes, but it's funny. Yeah, people believe the moon landing was fake because they couldn't keep up with the Russians, so they decided, you know what? But originally they believed that, so the CIA, Kissinger, and all them got in contact with Kubrick and asked to use the MGM studios in England to film it because they have all the things. They filmed anyway as quote unquote practice.
I'll be back
for the moon landing.
Keep going. I'm just gonna check the camera.
Okay.
Keep going.
You have fun now.
I'm just going over here.
Drive safe. So people believed that they so they went to the MGM studios in England. That's probably London. I think it's London. That makes a lot of sense. And asked Kubrick, "Hey, can we use the studio for a weekend so we can film this?" And then Kubrick was like, "You guys, you know how meticulous Kubrick could be." He was like, "You guys aren't experienced with this at all. I'm going to oversee this whole thing myself." And then people believe The Shining was Kubrick's confession to doing it because there's a few things in The Shining that could lead to it. Firstly, the carpet is a very similar shape to a launch pad. Launch pads they have in Cape Canaveral. Second, the back projections used in 2001: A Space Odyssey, which is a different Kubrick movie, I know. I'm building on this. Or actually similar to shots of the actual moon from video that was released of the moon landing itself. Thirdly, Danny wears a sweater that has Apollo 11 on it, which isn't just a coincidence. Crazy. It obviously means something because Apollo 11 was the mission that they go to the moon. Because there's lots of missions before that. And then in the book, the room he goes to is 217, but Kubrick changed it to 237. Some people believe the reason for which is because the moon is 237,000 miles from Earth, or if you're not a fan of the metric, or if you're a fan of the metric system, that's 381,600 kilometers. But yeah, I prefer the metric system. But for the terms of this theory, we use the imperial system. 237,000 miles from Earth is how far the moon is, so room 237. And then there's when Jack is in one of the storage closets of all the food and stuff, there's boxes that have number 39 on them. Is that a coincidence? I don't think so.
Of course not.
Because Launchpad 39 was the launch pad used for the Apollo 11 space shuttle. And furthermore, another box says Tang, and do you know what Tang is? Tang is the drink the astronauts drink. So it all makes sense. Kubrick directed the moon landing, which the government staged too, and they probably, I think the government got this information and let it slip purposefully, and they get away from the fact that Bush did the Titanic. That's just my theory. I could be clutching at straws here.
I think that is.
I like straws.
It's a theory that's going to come up a lot more and more, and it's a lot more.
Michael Jackson's death.
No. Like the moon landing thing is
Michael Jackson was on the Titanic with his son.
Because obviously NASA are planning to go back to the moon, or to the moon for the first time.
Well, they've been to the moon plenty of times.
Oh.
Or have they? Who knows?
But they're going back to stay this time.
They'll live on the moon.
Yeah.
Oh, so they're taking all the big shots. They're going to live on the moon. They're going to have moon parties. Good for them. Good for them on their moon.
They're going to bring a lot of moon sand.
They're going to have tequila on the moon. They're going to... the thing is...
That's like a good name for an album.
Tequila on the moon?
Yeah.
And the thing is, since it's technically international waters, if we consider the Sea of Tranquility, anything's legal.
Well, actually, Luxembourg have space laws. Luxembourg bought property in space, and now they have laws in that property.
Like you say, Luxembourg have space laws.
Yeah.
No, just say that sentence again.
Luxembourg have space laws.
Well, they're small enough to micromanage, aren't they?
They actually they bought a large part of space. I suppose you can buy space, and they have laws.
You can. I've got 2 acres.
And then there's
I'm gonna farm it.
They are one of the only countries as well that work with NASA in the Space Defense Force. You know
The Space Defense Force.
You know,
What?
you know
like the Space Rangers from Toy Story.
it's like a section of the military now that's been devoted to like extraterrestrial
Ranger?
threats.
Extraterrestrial threats. I don't believe a word of this.
Genuinely, look this shit up.
Extraterrestrial threats.
Yeah.
Well, they clearly didn't do a good job of Trump as president.
I don't think he's
Invasion of the Tangerines.
Speaking of invasions of presidents,
Denver.
what do you think of lizard people? The home of the lizard people. Apparently Denver Airport.
Wait, I got to give me a sec. Homo reptilia.
Yeah.
I think they exist in science fiction, and that is it.
Really?
I used to be quite what's the word? Gullible. One of my friends told me there was T-Rexes in the Red Dead Redemption game on a certain there's a certain cheat that you can get T-Rexes. And when he was playing it in front of me, I asked him, "Can you get the T-Rexes on?" He's like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm like, "You said those T-Rexes," and he's like, "Ryan, I was joking." I was like, "What? You said it so seriously, but where's the T-Rexes?" And instead, we just slaughtered a town. Men, women, children, animals. There's no children. Men, women, and animals.
That's like what the Chinese did. Couldn't find dinosaurs, so they made dragons and slaughtered people.
Moving on. That's an off-topic question. I'm not going to answer that.
My cameraman Quiva.
Hey.
Peter makes money off animal abuse.
Oh yeah, well, that's what we'll get into. Put a theory to me.
Yes.
That the reason
airplanes.
Airplane
food. Do you know why airplane food is so bad? Watch our first episode.
Yeah. Nice. The reason that they tell you to tuck your head between your knees on an airplane is so that it snaps your neck immediately, and they get to save on insurance costs.
Not because they're gay.
That's like totally out of character. Listen. Yeah, sure.
That was. Well, you need to remove a few ribs first, just to make it easier. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that.
Marilyn Manson?
No. Brad Pitt. So.
God damn.
What, you don't know?
No,
You haven't heard?
I didn't know that about Brad Pitt. I knew about Marilyn Manson, but
I
no.
just made it up. But I sound convincing, so people never know if I'm telling the truth or I'm lying.
Right.
It's quite a skill. You know, Denver International Airport. Another theory. I actually read the article on it, where it's the epicenter of world evil. And here's what the author of the article is called Annalee Newitz. Weird name.
Already, I don't believe it because of her name.
Yeah, but it's an actual article she wrote. And here's what she's saying. She says, here's the reason she thinks it's the epicenter of evil. This, and I'm quoting this. Exit arrows point at each other instead of outside. Corridors lead to nowhere. Security checkpoints seem to disappear mysteriously. One terminal is decorated with a massive statue to Anubis, who she believed was the Egyptian god of death, even though he isn't. That's Osiris. So she didn't do her research. He is regarded with the underworld. And there is a giant red-eyed horse sculpture in the airport as well, which allegedly killed its creator. And there's also apparently phallic symbols.
Nothing wrong with phallic symbols. I like phallic symbols.
That were put there to inspire devil worship.
Oh well, okay.
So all these things,
I retract my statement.
All these things come together to put forth that Denver International Airport is the epicenter of world evil. But we all know where the real evil in Denver lies, and that's John Denver's Christmas album. Oh, John Denver.
Not a fan.
Oh no. Have some more? Do you have any more? Or have your theories been exhausted?
No. I feel like I have.
Give me one more. One more. That's all I want. Because we're on a ticking clock. My train's in like an hour.
Roswell, New Mexico.
Roswell actually happened. We can move on. Here's two. If you think Roswell didn't happen, you're a fool. You're a damn fool. At that.
You believe that an alien ship crashed in Roswell?
You're telling me you don't believe in aliens?
I believe in aliens, but
Good. There we go.
I don't believe that they've been here.
You don't?
Not really.
You're a damn fool.
I'd like to think they have.
They have been. I've heard it straight from the horse's mouth. Aliens have been here, and I believe that very firmly.
From which horse?
Won't get into that now. Very reliable one. Shall remain nameless.
Reliable horse.
What can I say? He's here's two.
I'm a bit of a naysayer, I must say. Continue. Please continue.
Here's two theories, two conspiracy theories that turned out to actually be true.
Okay.
The first was Project Sunshine, where people believe the U.S. government was testing the effects of radioactive decay, or the effects of I just can't think of the word. The effects of nuclear energy on human bodies. So they took dead bodies, tested on them. This is actually true. But they didn't do it on full dead bodies. The government they can do after in the wake of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. They conducted a number. The U.S. government, that is, conducted a number of major studies under the investigating the effects of nuclear fallout on the human body. They recruited worldwide network of agents in order to find recently deceased. Now it had to be young tissue, so babies, dead babies, and children. They took tissue samples and even limbs, and collected them without permission from their families. From over 1,000 families, they did this in order to test the effects of nuclear fallout on the human body. And it's kind of scary. The second conspiracy theory, which turned to be true, isn't exactly scary, but it's interesting, is that Woodrow Wilson's wife ran the show towards the end of his presidency, which does hold true, which actually is true because towards the end of his presidency he suffered a debilitating stroke, and the government decided to keep it quiet for the sake of just order. They were like, no, we're going to keep this quiet, it's not too important, it should be fine. So during that time, his wife Edith Wilson made most of the executive decisions. Now, she claimed herself she was only a steward, really. However, historians of the Wilson administration did extensive research in it, and she was effectively president for well over a year with the power she had, which I just think is kind of cool.
That's really cool.
No, she wasn't an official US president, obviously. There's never been a woman officially voted into office, which is unfortunate. Hopefully there will be.
What do you think of another one that was turned out to be true is MK Ultra?
Isn't that a movie?
No,
that's American Ultra.
MK Ultra was, if I'm correct, that they were running tests on people.
They were running. They ran fast
to try and make super soldiers that could use psychic powers. It's where Stranger Things comes from.
11.
Yeah, it's basically that the government were running tests on subjects to try and elicit superpowers, to try and get them to use psychic powers to fight in the Cold War. And that's where.
Well, I have heard of this.
Yeah.
I saw it in a video. I do know this. Look at that. I know something. Yay.
And it came out that it was true that they were testing on people to see if they could give them psychic powers.
Hopper looked it up in Stranger Things. He did research on it. That's how I know it. Oh, look at that. TV coming in handy again. I'm telling you. That's where I get all my information from, is television. Serious.
What's a reliable source?
Well, unless it's Fox News.
Don't even get me started.
I've exhausted all my research on this topic because it's...
As have I. I have one on Princess Diana, but I don't really know much about it. I just know that people think that Princess Diana's death was not natural. That basically the brakes were cut on purpose, that there was a bomb planted in the car. A car crash couldn't cause an explosion that would burn someone that severely.
Elton John sang at her funeral.
Really?
Did a rendition of Candle in the Wind. And where instead of, because a Candle in the Wind originally went for Marilyn Monroe. And the title of the lyric was Goodbye Norma Jean, because her name was Norma Jean. But for Princess Diana, it was Goodbye English Rose. He just changed around the title.
Oh.
So that's a fun fact. I like Elton John. I missed out on tickets to see him live. I was devastated. Because like the tickets just sold so quickly. There is a few still available, but they're so expensive.
How much are they?
€180 cheapest.
Wow.
Sorry, 188, and that's not including fees. Now it is his farewell tour, but like I believe they were cheaper when I missed out. It's so unfortunate. I love Elton John so much. I saw Rocketman. It's my current favorite movie of this year.
Really?
I adored it.
Wow.
I adore present tense 'cause it still exists. I adore it. I was cautiously optimistic because I thought to myself it is going to be good, but they're just marketing it quite badly. Because the way they marketed it, they made it seem like Bohemian Rhapsody, because that movie was for some reason popular, even though it was terrible.
I liked it.
It was directed by a paedophile.
I've quite a trend of liking movies that aren't good. Doesn't say much about me, but I do like movies that are considered good.
Do you know it was directed by a paedophile?
No.
Bryan Singer is.
Is he?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Like I take that with a
that's why he was.
Because I quite like Kevin Spacey. But I do like the movies he was in and TV shows.
Look,
Knowing he was a pedophile, I wouldn't knowingly watch his movies now that I know he's a pedophile.
Yeah, look, no, I do like to make the distinction between the art and the artist, but when it's something like that, there's just I can't excuse it.
Yeah.
If it's something like with Louis C.K., his was masturbating in front of women.
Yeah.
Which it's not nice, but he never harmed them physically.
Yeah, but mentally, like it would be quite like it's scarring.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you look at Louis C.K.
But it was always like grown women.
Yeah, I know. It was not. There was.
I feel like there's. I'm not excusing his actions by any means.
Well, no, like
I'm just saying in terms of severity, it's not as bad.
Of course, like to lightly touch on this subject because I don't want to go too extreme. Pedophilia is the worst of all. There's like.
Well, that's where you were going with this. Okay, I don't want to talk about this. This is icky.
No, but like in regards to like harassment, like harassment of children, I think surpasses
anything else.
It's
awful. I know. It's genuinely disgusting.
Well, let's get away from that because we don't want to talk about that.
No, the Elton John movie, wonderful movie. It was horribly mismarketed. It's actually a musical, which I think works. Like it's. Are you on Letterboxd?
No.
You should get it. It's great. It's a film app. I think it's like social media.
Oh yeah, you write down the films you watch.
Well, no, yeah. You can like take off films you've watched. Like you add films into watch list. You review movies. You connect with other people who like movies. You like, it's just like it's pretty
I'm quite
great.
a fan of TripAdvisor. I like reviewing places I've been.
So it's essentially TripAdvisor but for movies.
Oh, okay.
It's great. I'm a big fan of it.
Now, here's a question.
Mm-hmm.
If aliens visited you and they said, we will take you into our interstellar spacecraft, we will show you how space travel works, but we would like to experiment on you, but you will be perfectly fine, you will be sent back to Earth, but we just want to experiment on you to understand the human body, would you go?
Okay, yes, but you're gonna have to repeat every single sentence in that. You're gonna have to repeat every single word in that sentence because I wasn't listening.
Okay. So, say aliens got in touch with you. Like they came down and say you're
like E.T.
You're going for a cycle and
exactly like E.T.
Aliens go.
Yeah, like E.T.
Up. Yeah,
E.T.
Okay, and they say they can speak to you however they understand English or whatever.
Yeah.
And they say that we can show you space. We can show you space travel and advanced technologies, advanced civilizations.
Mm-hmm.
And we will eventually send you back to Earth. But we would like to experiment on you to understand the human body. Would you go with them if they allow you to see space travel, possibly even time travel, understand an alien civilization, but if it meant they got to experiment on you?
What do you think of these questions?
You wouldn't, like, in the context of it, you won't be like harmed, like you won't be missing legs and stuff like that. Maybe like probed or like cut open and stuff like that.
Might be cut open.
You might be.
No.
Really?
No, my insides are staying inside. Thank you very much.
They're not taking them out. They're just cutting you open and have a look. Like kind of like what Da Vinci did to people.
I don't want some aliens breathing on my pancreas. Thank you very much. I like my pancreas to say breath free.
That's true. They could have germs from space that could get in there. You never know.
Exactly.
But it also could have germs from space that could get in there and make you a superhero.
It could, but I don't want to be a superhero.
I'd fucking love to be a superhero.
Like I do. Like I've had the dream of being a superhero, but the thing is, I know if I was a superhero, I'd be the Peter Parker of superheroes. Where I try my best, but it'd be so difficult to manage both life, real life and superhero life.
I feel like if I were a superhero, I'd be like more along the lines of the Punisher or Batman. Maybe between the two. You know, there's a very big line that separates the two of them, which is killing people.
Yes. So you'd be an anti-hero type.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that. I couldn't kill, regardless. I'd be like Spider-Man in that regard. I do have a Spider-Man costume at home. One time because I came in, it was a non-uniform day, and I came in my Spider-Man costume because I thought this would be fun, and it was, and I was like, I beat up the scum of the city every night, and one of the guys was like, Ryan, there's no scum in the city. I'm like, you're welcome. It was like the perfect exchange for that joke, and I was so happy with it. But I'm.
If you could have a superpower, what would you have? Anything.
The ability to be able to not go to the toilet.
Like a dog.
Wait, no. Take that out. I don't like that.
Okay. So you could have. Actually, no, wait. Just do a pause. Then just.
Well, if I could have any superpower, I don't know. I'd like to be Spider-Man. That'd be cool. I feel like I could be a Spider-Man. Or Ant-Man. Ant-Man would be awesome.
So
Shrink.
Super strength, healing factor, webs.
Well, the webs aren't natural. You have web shooters.
So
but if we're going to go for the Raimi iteration, organic webs, it would be handier.
Super
actually.
intelligence.
Organic webs would be much handier. Yeah, I'll go with the organic webs.
Super intelligence.
He doesn't have super intelligence. He's just naturally smart.
He's like a genius level intellect. Spider-Man has genius level intellect.
Yeah, but he didn't get that from the radioactive spider bite. He's just naturally smart.
Yeah, I know, but that is still a superpower. Like, even if you're just a normal person, you're like Stephen Hawking, fucking like
Who was?
Sorry, yeah. Like I can't like even in real life, I can't being absurdly smart as a superpower.
No, if you're Stephen Hawking.
Yeah. I would have invulnerability in the sense that like I can die of like old age and disease, kind of like Wolverine, but I can't be like stabbed or shot or like fall and stuff.
So the complete opposite of the elves from Lord of the Rings. They can go to a ripe old age. They can live forever unless they get stabbed, or like just like shot in the face with arrows, or just cut down by some urukai or orcs or whatever.
Yes.
And that's been today's episode.
That's been today's episode. There's a little bit of a tangent at the end there, but Ryan has to catch a train.
Yes, that's my superpower. I'm like Mr. Incredible. No, but I've been your host, Ryan.
And I've been your host, Brendan.
Co-host. Yes, and until the next time.
It's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.
Goodbye from my pointless friend, Ryan.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.